Hello, hello. I'm just bringing you up on my phone. I know you're looking at a blank canvas, but it's going to be pretty really soon. Hello, hello. Hey, Queen Bee, you're the first one on today. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to change the camera and put myself on here for a sec. Whew, I got some big hair today. So I just want to tell you, I'm Deborah Bucher with Deborah Bucher Designs, and I'm super excited about today's project. Probably 2 months ago, I was at the Goodwill with my granddaughter. We had tickets to go to the movies to see Beetlejuice, which I don't recommend. But anyway, that's what she wanted to see. But we had time to kill, and so I said, what do you want to do? And my 10-year-old granddaughter says, let's go to the Goodwill. So we did. Stop it. Come here. And so she's shopping, I'm shopping, and I come across this frame. And I always check frames, you guys, always, because they are fast, easy, inexpensive things to flip and turn and sell. And I spotted that frame and went, oh, be still my heart. And so I grabbed it, but it was funny because there was a woman right behind me heading for that frame too. I didn't know it at the time until she spoke to me. But anyway, I was glad that I got it, and I've been excited to work on it. And, you know, here we are on the 3rd of December, and I've been doing Christmas for a few weeks now, but it's like it's going by way too fast. And I thought, I really want to get this done with you guys. So here we go. We're going to get it done. So if you're coming on, I can see a few people on here, but only one has said hello. So don't hide out. I'm going to move this camera and see if I can get it in a better spot. That's probably a good one right there. Okay, so there's nothing difficult about these things, and I did some prepping ahead of time. So this is the board that the print was on. I don't even know what I did with the print. What did I do with the print? Well, that's kind of funny. Well, we have a picture of it. It's on the post. I don't know where I put the picture, but this is, oh, how silly of me. This is the picture, you guys. The picture was like, it was a paper print that was glued onto this piece of cardboard. That's what it was. And so then I took white gesso and I painted just one coat. You can see, Scruffy, no. You can see kind of streaks on here, but it's a good enough coverage for what we're going to do today. So I painted over the painting that was on here. And this beautiful Santa, he's my favorite Santa. He's going to be what we're going to decoupage on here. And part of my prep work also was to clean the frame really well and to clean the glass really well. So that's all prepped. I didn't think you guys really needed to see all of that, but you do need to know that I did all of that. And then I just need to figure out, because my tissue is bigger than my piece. And so I just need to figure out how I want it situated on here. And I kind of like I like the greenery over here coming out of his pocket or off of his back. And I want to be sure I get the tip of his hat up there. I might just pull it down just a tiny bit more and just have it right on that edge. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it with my fingertips down here. I'm just rubbing it along. Hi, Molly. Okay, well, that's the good thing about replays. So thanks for popping on and saying hi. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Regine. Hi, Cindy Stone. Well, there's more of you on here than what my phone says there are, but I'm glad to see you guys. Okay, so I'm just marking it with my fingertips, and I am going to just take my scissors here and give it a cut. These are so fast and easy to do, but they are so impressive, you guys. So, you know, always watch for the frames. And just, you know, frames are cheap. So when you see one that you like, grab it. Even if you don't have a project in mind, just stash it. And then when a project does come along, all you have to do is go shop in your own garage. That's what I do. In fact, I brought in a stack of frames the other day because I have a project in my head I want to do in a frame. And I had frames out there that I'd forgotten because I hadn't gone through my stash of frames in a long time. And I was like, gosh, I've got some pretty frames out here. Okay, and I'm just kind of rubbing along this edge so it's just leaving a mark of where I need to cut. Let's see, I don't want it to shift, and it shifted just a tiny bit there. Okay, so I'm going to put this dryer on it so it doesn't shift again. And I'm cutting maybe 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And for some reason, in my head, I always feel like these are a little more time consuming, but you know what? They really aren't. This is a project that you can finish in an hour and a half, easy. And that's prep work, cleaning it. That's the whole shebang. So when we finish today, he will be finished. You will see the whole thing from start to finish. And you know, a lot of times it'll take me 2 or 3 lives to get a project finished. So this is great. And I should mention, I put the links for this particular Santa in the description, but there are 4 different vintage Santas. These Santas are from the 1800s. These 4 designs are actual, they were Christmas cards way back then. And I put the link to the website and my Etsy page in case you're interested. Okay, so I like to decoupage with Dixie Belle Satin Top Coat. That's what I do all my decoupaging with. And I'm just going to squirt some over here into this tray. And I have it positioned exactly how I want it. And so I'm just going to pull back a section. I'm not going to shift or move my paper at all. And I'm just going to take some of my medium here. And I want to be sure I get it on all the edges up here. And this is my anchor row. And you guys, I've done this on canvas too. I'll go back and pull up the video on canvas that I did. It was a few years ago. And it's the canvas that has the board on the top and the board on the end, so that when the holiday is over with, you can just roll it up and stick it in a closet. Okay, so I've got like 3-4 inches there. That's my anchor row. And I'm going to use some saran wrap here. And I'm going to start in the center here, and I'm going to work my way out both directions. And by using the saran wrap, that eliminates any texture. So then I just pull it back and I start below down here. I don't want to start up where the fold is, because then you'll get a big glob under there. So I start off down here and then I work my way up, and then I can pull it back a little bit just to get underneath there. And if you just do a section at a time like this, you will always have a successful decoupage project. I see lots of people put all their medium on their whole project and then hold their paper over it and hope they get it on straight. And sometimes they're successful and sometimes they aren't. This way, you will always be successful. And so see, I started over here in the center and I'm going one direction and smoothing it all out. And then you go back the other direction. And keep in mind, when you're decoupaging, when your paper gets wet, it has elasticity and it will stretch. And you might see a few bubbles here and there, although I don't see any on here, because this technique is really the best. And you just keep repeating the same process. But if you do it this way, you're always going to be successful. And if you do see wrinkles or bubble, don't panic, because it will shrink when it dries. It will probably lay down flat. If you get a really bad one on there, because maybe you've never decoupaged before, don't worry about it, because we've got all this medium that we're putting down on here. And you can take an iron and parchment paper, not wax paper, parchment paper. And when it's completely dry, you can go back over your piece and iron it flat. And what happens is it just reliquefies the medium that I'm putting down right now. And then it just seals it back up. And the reason why I'm using Dixie Belle Satin Top Coat, and if you've got questions, I'll look here in just a minute. But the reason why I use Dixie Belle Satin Top Coat is because it's archival. This is what you finish your furniture with. It is never going to wrinkle on you. It's never going to turn yellow. It's not going to crack. And I see people using Mod Podge all the time. It's not archival. It will crack over time. It's not going to hold up over the years. This is going to last forever. Let me see what your comments are. Hey, Mayor. Sharon. Regina. Mickey. Okay, I don't see any comments. I see people. So I just keep repeating this process all the way down. So you can see it's not the least bit complicated. You can get your girlfriends together and do a project. I put the link to, on my Etsy, all I have on my Etsy is decoupage tissue. I have nearly the full line on Etsy. And on my website, I have all kinds of products. Dixie Belle paint and all the, the satin top coat, the satin paints, almost the full line of Dixie Belle. And these decoupage tissues are on there too. And there's lots to choose from. So you don't have to keep this in mind specifically for Christmas either. If there is a tissue design that you like, then all you have to do is just find a frame. And I'm telling you, shopping for frames at the thrift store is the way to go. Because if you buy a brand new frame in the department stores, they want ridiculous amounts of money for them. And you can have beautiful art inexpensively like this. And it's so inexpensive, you can change out your art frequently. It does take a little more room to do this. I couldn't do this in my craft room and have it on camera. That would have just been too tight in there. So I set up a table out here in my family room. So no questions, huh? You guys are being super quiet today. Did you guys all have a good Thanksgiving? So we're almost done on our first coat here. Now this is 18-pound tissue paper, which is a really nice weight to decoupage with. I don't know if you noticed, but I had just a little tiny wrinkle and I just lifted the paper up and smoothed it back down. And 18-pound paper, to give you a comparison, the tissue paper that you put in your packages when you're wrapping with them, you can decoupage with that too. You get a great texture with that, but that's 10-pound paper. And it is not going to go down as smooth as this paper does. And that kind of 10-pound paper is going to easily tear. But you can get really cool texture and designs using that paper. It's like decoupaging with a napkin. If you've decoupaged with napkins, you can do really cool stuff. I decoupage with napkins often. But this is a really good quality paper. And that's important. And it's printed and manufactured here in the United States, and I think that's important too. Yeah, Mickey, I've done it on canvas lots of times. In fact, often when you buy a picture, often what you're decoupaging over is on canvas, and so you would do the same thing. I just use the white gesso because that conditions your canvas, and do exactly what I'm doing. And then I've done this exact piece on a big piece of canvas that I ordered like 3 or 4 yards of it off of Etsy, and I conditioned it with the gesso and measured it out, and then I decoupaged it like this, and then I cut strips of wood that go across the bottom here and one across the top here. And because it was on canvas, then when the holiday was over with, you could just roll it back up. And it had a hanger, a rope hanger that went across the top. And another thing you can do is you can buy those already made all the time at Michael's. And they put them, when the season's over, they put them on sale for 70% off. And so I just grab them up because you just paint them over with the white gesso and then you've got a perfect canvas. And I really like them because, you know, for the holidays and such, then you don't have to store something big. It's going to be easy for you to store. Jennifer, I do think it's the best way. I watch people decoupage all the time because this is my favorite thing to do, and I'm always curious what other people are doing. I'm going to give it a quick dry. Hi, Mary. I didn't think you were going to make it today. I saw your message. I just didn't, you must have finished what you were doing, Mary. Okay. So the next thing to do no, I hadn't thought of putting the red velvet powder on this hat, but you sure could. I don't know how well that would do. If you weren't putting glass on top of it, I think that would work out really well. He's got like a, I don't know if his coat's velvet, because you can see the texture in his coat, but you could do that top and bottom, I think. Okay, so now I'm just going to put another coat on the top, and this is going to just protect our piece. And if you see it wrinkle up a little bit, not to worry. Because when the paper dries, it will all settle back down. I don't know why this Santa speaks to me like he does, but the first time I saw him, I was just like in love with him. His eyes are so pretty blue. It's got a twinkle in them. He is an original Saint Nick for sure. But if you wanted to do a smaller version of this and do it in a frame, you could really jazz up your frame. You could do like what Mickey said about using the velvet powder. You could do rhinestones and diamonds around your frame. You could really make it fancy. Just have a little bit left here. I'm just going to use it up. Okay, and then we just need to give it another dry. About putting the crackle on. I should do that with the smaller version. That's a good idea. Thumbs up. I love me some good crackle. Okay, now he really, he's dry to the touch, but I can still feel dampness there. But I just want to show you what he's going to look like when he's all put together. And I'm not going to leave him in the frame because I need this to dry thoroughly, but I can at least show you what we're working with here. Okay, so this is the back side of the frame. And I cleaned it really well. I'm going to stand it up here. Just don't want that glass to come falling out. Ugh. It's heavy. Oh my goodness, he is so pretty. Let me see if I can back. I don't have enough hands for everything. Oh, that's what I was afraid was going to happen. Woo. I was trying to adjust that camera. Okay, so let me do this again. I'm going to get him out of the way so I don't cut him. I'm going to get the camera over here and pull it up ahead of time. And I have all the pieces that, all of these holes on here are screws to put it all back together with. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to let this dry overnight. Can you guys see him? Isn't this frame just perfect for the Santa? It has like that burgundy red and gold around it, and it's in really excellent condition. When I spotted this frame, I knew exactly what I was going to do with him. I thought he was just gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to put him back down. And I'm just going to let him sit here overnight and dry. So, do you guys have any comments or questions or anything? I know this was a super fast live. I'm not sure I've ever done one this fast before. There we go. In all his glory. Okay, you guys, well, you're being super quiet. I thought it was going to take a lot longer to do it. I thought it was more complex, but I did a lot of the prep work ahead of time, and I don't want to screw him together until he's completely dry. So I'll post a picture of him all finished tomorrow. He'll be all ready to hang. Okay, well. Okay, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight. Thanks for joining me, and I'll have a new project to share with you tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'll have a new one. And I'll have him all put together so you can see him tomorrow. You guys have a great evening. Thanks for joining me. Bye.